how do you know when it is God or how do we hear from God, right? What would be your knowledge and tutelage to be able to advise, the viewer to making the proper steps to listening or trying to find or trace, as you said, trace God?
Well, I got three things of listening to God. Is one, through prayer. Secondly, through his word. And thirdly, through circumstance. If you're in tune with God, God could speak to you through a commercial.
Yes, sir.
I'm not trying to be deep or spiritual. You could be riding on a bus and two people, man, can just be talking and you'll hear something with your name on it. God speaks through normal, regular, everyday situations. Some people think you just got to be this deep, religious person and God speaks in the pageantry of worship. God speaks to you through ordinary stuff if you can be in tune with God. And so through fasting, that makes you sensitive to hear God. God is speaking right now in our atmosphere.
Yes, sir.
Right now, on an ordinary conversation. This is not script. We ain't playing it. We just being who we are. And God is speaking.
Yes,
and everything that God is speaking to you as it relates to you going to your next level and meeting some other things that God requires for you, it's already done. It's already done. What you already walked in, your experiences have been expensive. And because you're real, you remind me of Paul. Because you don't have no problem sharing where you are, who you are, where you're going, giving the facts, giving the realness, and people can relate and identify with that. God gonna take you higher in him, gonna touch people like you never dreamed. I'm prophesying in case you didn't know.
Man,
I'm declaring and decreeing in your life that everything that you prayed for would manifest and you shall be like a tree planted. Y'all gonna make me get happy.
Man, listen, I thought you was already happy, bro. I ain't know what I'm saying.
No, see,
I speak this talk. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, they see me in a sense. They see Cam with the long hair. They see Cam going through a little version of himself that he knows. And I spoke on, there was a time where, or a point in time where it was a viral moment that happened on the internet. And I was with the Patriots at that time. And it was Sunday during training camp and they played Kirk Franklin. Lately I've been walking through something that really got me down. And then people on our team, they don't necessarily, a lot of people may not know it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, when I was growing up, man, we had the mom to that. You know what I'm saying? We was in the church. Like, my parents, they raised me up in the church, so I know I didn't start watching NFL football until I got to college. I didn't necessarily have time to, because if we wasn't hearing it on the radio, going to the next service, I grew up in a Pentecostal church, meaning you wake up earlier at 8 a.m. to make it to Bible study.
Right.
Then you go to 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. is actual service. Right. Then from there, depending on what Sunday it is, you got to go to somebody's hosting house to feed the first family. Okay, then after that dinner, you have to come back to church to have a follow-up with also prayer.
Right.
So it was a whole day.
Yeah.
So when people see me now, I don't want them to feel distracted that, oh man, I see Cam cursing. I see Cam saying, this word. I hear that ain't of God. Or as the young generation say, or we say it in this, that ain't P. You know what I'm saying?
Have they overlooked your heart?
Probably.
I don't see none of that when I see people. I don't even look for it. I look at the man's heart.
Yeah.
That's all God looks at.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of religion. That's where I'm at. I'm sick of Jesus was sick. He hated religion. He hated religion.
Right.
Sinners loved him because he looked beyond what they were doing and he saw a heart that wanted change, that was pliable enough. Religion is rigid, it's hard, it's starched. Don't keep telling me what I can't do. Tell me what I can do.
Yes, sir.
The Lord said, I come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Why you want to put me in a box? I didn't get saved to be miserable. I didn't come to God to be stuck. Live.
I'm gonna give you another situation, right? So I have a girlfriend, right? not a person that I'm intimate with, right? But a female friend, right? And we always have good banter going back and forth. And I really genuinely care about her, right? I check up on her son. You know, she tells me how she's doing. We have like this workout regimen. She sends me certain things. My partner, my girlfriend now, she knows her, right? So that's that. Let me set the groundwork or the framework with that. She sends me, anytime she goes to church, or once she goes to church every week, but anytime it speaks to her to send to me, she'll send me the whole link, right? She sends me the sermon about relationships. It was 52 minutes or an hour and 10 minutes, one of the two. And I'm listening to it while I was sitting at my office. And I was just listening, and I sent her back all the notes that I was taking. And I said, one of the main things that I have an issue with is not being able to cope with or empathize with the situation that's at hand, right? A lot of times in church, the reason why there aren't a connection with certain demographics is because you have this holier than thou mentality. Where God didn't say this, God didn't do this, God didn't do. But when God was speaking to his people, it wasn't just the sanctified that he was speaking to. It wasn't just all saints. These are, y'all are who y'all are, but we need to go get the sinners. I appease more to a person of your status that has some type of baggage in a closet. To say, man, I used to sell drugs. Man, I didn't know that. Man, I used to womanize. Man, I'm battling that daily. I appease more to that rather than listening to a sermon when it's like, man, you didn't even have my heart when you was in the world. So how are you gonna bring me out of the world? See what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing, because I'm listening to him and he was talking, and I'm like, bro, you just don't get it. You don't understand, this club is paying me $60,000 just to stay there for an hour and 30 minutes, right? You don't have no idea the women that's just throwing themselves at me. Just to say, just take it.
Right, of course.
You can't ever, you don't even know what it's like to see $300,000 in your bank account, let alone $10 million in your bank account. That's not to bring him down or his situation down. It's just to say it's hard. I need somebody to talk my talk, to speak to me, right? Transparently to say, you know what, Cam, I may not, but this is what the Bible says. Okay, I'm gonna give you a true story that I went through. I did cheat on my wife. I did do this. I did do that. And once you become vulnerable, or I sense you being vulnerable, then I know there's a lot of other people that can cope with this. When I feel that you're vulnerable with me, then that's when I become vulnerable for you. But if you're coming at me like, no, that's not this. God didn't do that for me. God said that is a lie. That's the devil. But that's then putting up that another brick.
Why do we make it so hard for people to get to a loving God? That's the question. Why do we make it so hard? The rules make it so exhausting for somebody who want God, but before they get there, they bump into us.
The distraction. We're the biggest distraction.
Because we make it so hard. I got an inbox because I was going to drop a name, but I don't like to drop names. But it's a very popular guy that he said, Bishop, you're a novelty because you're doing stuff other preachers don't do.
Yes, sir.
Dance, skate, da-da-da-da-da-da. And so this guy inboxed me. I ain't gonna drop his name. And he was like, preacher, you're a disgrace to the entire Christian community.
No.
I mean, he went on me hard. You don't follow any of the laws. He gave me a list of Levitical laws of about at least 600 laws that I need to follow. Dietary laws, ceremonial laws, laws to get an inroad to God. You can't mix cotton with linen. So I said to myself, you think I'm gonna go in my closet and throw all of my clothes away? To have a relationship with God, that's religious. I was so exhausted when he finished giving me all the rules.
Trying to prove something.
Man, listen. And so I said to myself, I said, that's probably how these young people, drug dealers, killers, drug users, feel about church. It's just too hard to get to God.
To be accepted.
To be accepted.
Right.
So we never give them a chance to come in.